What's going on? Welcome back to another video, and today, guys, the time has finally arrived. It is the return of a long-awaited series that I did last year that I'm now bringing back and doing again this year. It got great, like everyone really liked it last year. I have a lot more people that have watched the channel, a lot more people that I'm friends with, and they get to experience it this year. I am redoing, like I said I would do last year, my top 100 favorite movies of all time. So if you guys were here last year, remember it was a 10-part series. I did 10 films every part, and it was my top 100 favorite movies at the time. It has changed drastically. If I were to go back and watch those videos today, I'd be like, dude, what are you thinking? What are you doing? It has changed drastically, and I've gotten comments even in the last few months saying, like on those videos saying, wow man, you need to watch movies. That's what I've done. I have been doing my 100 movies I missed challenge. I've already topped 100. I am moving on past the 100 and watching even more, and I have just watched a lot more movies. So today is the first episode of this revamped brand new series of my top 100 favorite films of all time. But first off, before we get into that, if you are new, thank you so much for taking the time to click on the video, liking, commenting, subscribing. That all means the absolute world. If you are new and you have not already, consider dropping a subscription. It means the world. The growth has been awesome. I mean, I've met so many new people recently. The growth is great. Go follow me on Instagram. I have started to become a lot more active on Instagram. And yeah, so this year it's a little bit different. Last year it was 10 episodes, as I already said. It was 10 films per episode. This year it is 11 episodes. And the reason for that is I have 10 honorable mentions, 10 films that just barely missed the cut. So that is today's episode. Today's episode is the honorable mentions. It is 110 through 101. And then the next episode will be 100 through 91, so on, so forth, until we get to my top 10 favorite films of all time, which will be weeks down the line. But yeah, so that's kind of how it is. Basically what this is going to do is I'm going to give you the number, tell you what the film is, give you a few thoughts of what I like about the film, what I don't like, why it's where it is, and then we will be on our happy, merry way. I'm not going to be doing big reviews on these. I'm just going to kind of give you some of my thoughts, tell you why it's on the list, tell you why I like it so much, and then we will move on. But without further ado, I'm going to pull up my phone right now, and let's just kind of get right into it. So coming in at 110, the film that just barely eked it out onto this list is Long Shot, the rom-com from last year with Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen. This is a very heartfelt film that is such a great concept of a story that also dives into politics, which is another very interesting angle to take a rom-com, and it was just done very well. It was one of my favorite films of last year. It was a great time at the movies. I saw it, I believe, with my entire family, and we all really enjoyed it, and it is just one that always resonates with me because it is just a great love story about, you know, getting the girl that you never thought you could get, and that resonates, and that's great. It's got great performances. The chemistry with Rogen and Theron is fantastic. It's great overall. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's actually a lot of fun. I know my friend Zach Pope really digs this film. Rightfully so. It is a really great film. Coming in at 109 is Get Out. Jordan Peele is fantastic. Hint, hint, you're going to see his other film later up on the list. He has not missed yet. He's only done 2 films, but they have both been fantastic, and Get Out is no exception. It is creepy chilling. It's not even really a horror movie. It's more like kind of a psychological thriller, but it is creepy. It's a creepy movie, and it feels so real. It tackles some very important issues, while also... It tackles important issues while also... being very creepy and just, it makes my spine just chill. Great performances throughout. The writing is amazing. And again, the direction from Jordan Peele, he has not missed yet. It's a great film. It got all that Oscar bait, and it should have because it deserved it. And yeah, it just barely makes on the list in the honorable mentions at 109. Coming in at 108 is Good Time, the Safdie brothers. The first time I saw anything of the Safdie brothers was Uncut Gems, later down on the list. And this is yet another really great one by those very talented directors that are brothers. Like Uncut Gems, where you were able to bring in the emotion of anxiety and on the edge of your seat and heart pumping and getting your heart rate up. It's the same in this film. This film is exactly the same as that. It is a thrill ride, with it not really being action-packed, but just the way that the story's told, the way that shots are shot, the way that the editing is done. It brings you on this thrill ride that isn't really action-packed, which I thought was very well done. I really like the Safdie brothers now. I think they're phenomenal directors. Robert Pattinson is in this movie, and he's very, very good. Everyone gives him crap for just being in Twilight. Guys, before you discount him as the next Batman just because he did Twilight, go watch other films of his, like Good Time. Good Time is fantastic. I would highly recommend it. It is really, really good. It comes in at 108 on my list. 107 is Creed. Now, I will not lie, I've not seen any of the Rocky films. One or two of those may be on next year's list. Not going to be on this year's list. And I will say, I had to cap my list at a certain point. I am constantly watching new movies. Like, after I record this video, I'm going to probably watch another new movie. But if you keep doing that, you're never going to cap it, and you're never going to be able to make these videos. So I did have to cap my list. I capped it 2 or 3 days ago. So I really went up to the point where I was going to record these videos. I think like yesterday or the day before, I literally solidified the list. So with that being said, Rocky is in my pile of movies I need to watch. I just haven't watched it yet. But I have seen Creed, and I have seen Creed 2, and Creed is fantastic. Ryan Coogler directs an amazing movie. Michael B. Jordan is a star. You've got Sylvester Stallone, who actually gives a very convincing, very good performance. Overall, it's a great time, great storytelling. It comes in at 107 on my list. Coming in at 106 was a film that was very high up on my list last year, and it just barely eked on the list this year with my honorable mentions. So that shows how different this year's list is, and that is Green Book, Best Picture winner from 2 years ago. You guys know I love this film. There's a lot of controversy with it, and it is rightfully so. I understand the controversy, but in the vacuum of the film itself, I really, really enjoyed it. Mahershala Ali, Viggo Mortensen, Linda Cardellini, they all give fantastic performances. It is a very heartfelt movie. It is a buddy movie. It's great. It's really well done. I really enjoyed it. I was very happy when it won Best Picture. There were obviously other movies that I feel like were also deserving, but nonetheless, when Green Book took it, I was very happy with it. Comes at number 6 on my list. Coming in at 105 is another film that was up for Best Picture, but it was up for Best Picture this past year, I believe. I actually could be wrong. I don't remember. But it's Joker. I do know for a fact that it won Best Lead Actor in Joaquin Phoenix, and he is one of the main reasons why I love this movie so much. He gives a transformative performance. He is mesmerizing. The pacing in this film is very important because you guys know I am kind of a stickler for pacing issues, and when a movie gets very slow, this movie is very slow, but it's slow very methodically so that you can watch the transformation of this person with a mental illness slowly but surely become mad and become psychotic and become what he is in the end as the Joker. It was very convincing. It was very eerily scary. And the performance by Joaquin Phoenix carried it. I mean, there's a reason why he won the Oscar, because he was that good. I love this film. It is amazing. It comes in at 105 on my list. 104 is American Made. I watched this film on a whim one day. I was like, oh, it's Tom Cruise. Oh, it looks pretty good. And I was blown away. It's a fascinating story. It really is. Cruise gives a very good performance. And overall, it's just very sound and very well done. It is a thriller on the edge of your seat. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I think it's written very well. And I think it's directed very well as well. A lot of great moments inside this film. I believe it is a very underrated film. I really, truly believe that. I really enjoyed it. I feel like Cruise gives a very great performance. You all should check it out if you have not already. It's a really interesting story. And I believe it's based off a true story, so that's also very interesting. It comes in at 104 on my list. Coming in at 103 is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I love Harry Potter. You guys know this. I am a Potterhead. I am a Potter fanatic. This is one of my favorites. I watched a lot of Harry Potter rankings recently with a lot of my film YouTube friends, and a lot of them have this very low on their list. I really like it. I dig it. I dig the creation of Dumbledore's army. I dig the final battle. The death of Sirius Black is heart-wrenching. It is heartbreaking. And I just believe that we are really finally starting to see our characters grow up. The first two films are very mystical and magical, and they're young kids. The third film, we start to see them grow up a little bit. The fourth film, not a lot of character development because it's a lot of just the Triwizard Tournament, but the fifth film, Voldemort has returned. There is a sense of urgency, and they really start getting to work, and you see them really start to mature, and that is something that I really, really enjoy about this film. And in general, it's just got a darker tone, and you know that the story is actually starting to get going. You realize that once Voldemort comes back at the end of Goblet of Fire, you're like, okay, we are in it now. It is starting. And that's something I really like about this film, is it picks up right where it left off, and we get going. I love this film. There is at least one more on this list. I don't know. We'll see as we go on. I'd have to check my list. But I love this one. It's fantastic. Comes at 103 on my list. Coming in at 102 is Zombieland. A very pleasant surprise for me, actually. I saw Zombieland Double Tap first. Saw it in theaters last year, did a review of it. And literally the same night I got home from it, I rented it on Vudu for I think it was like $2 and watched the original. And I love the original. I had a blast with it. The characters are fantastic. It's such a like just a random, ridiculous film, but it works. And a lot of it has to do with the chemistry of the characters. They are completely different people, but it works, and they work together. It's written very cleverly. The performances are all great. It's a bloody, gory, zombie-filled time, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's a very funny not rom-com, it's a very funny comedy. Well, it does have romantic elements in it, I won't lie, it actually does. Zombie movie. It's funny, and I loved it, and it was just such a great time, and I really enjoyed it. And it comes in at 102 on my list. Comic book fans, do not burn me at the stake for this one. Coming in at 101 is Spider-Man 2. Raimi, he did some great stuff with Spider-Man. I mean, it was the Raimi trilogy, besides the third one, is amazing in the fact that we actually brought Spider-Man to the live-action light in something that was actually believable. Yeah, we've had live-action Spider-Man in the past, but we didn't have proper CGI. We didn't have proper special effects. When you see Spider-Man swinging through the city, yes, nowadays it looks a little bit dated, but even then, it still looks pretty convincing, and it still looks really good. Spider-Man 2 is fantastic. I really do enjoy Tobey Maguire. I am a Tom Holland stan. I personally think he is the perfect portrayal of Peter Parker. I know there are a lot of Raimi, Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire stans as well, and I get it. He's really, really good. This film is fantastic. I am not the biggest fan of him just losing his powers because he decided to pout for half the film, but that's beside the point. Doc Ock is a fantastic villain. I think the action in this film is great, and we get to see Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker deal with life. That's really something we have to do. That is something I really like compared to the MCU Spider-Man. Is like, you know, Peter Parker in the MCU Spider-Man hasn't really had to deal with life yet. He's still in high school. He has had to deal with some big problems a la Infinity War and Endgame, but at the same time, he wasn't on his own. Tobey Maguire's on his own, and he's trying to figure it out on his own, and I really like that. I really like that that aspect of it. But overall, this is a very well-done film. Raimi's fantastic. I'm so excited to see what he does with the Multiverse of Madness, the new Doctor Strange movie. But overall, it's great. I had a lot of fun with it, and it comes in at 101 on my list. So that is it for the honorable mentions. I will run them back real quick so you guys know. 1010 is Long Shot, 109 is Get Out, 108 is Good Time, 107 is Creed, 106 is Green Book, 105 is Joker, 104 is American Made, 103 is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, 102 Zombieland, and 101 is Spider-Man 2. Let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of any of the films I talked about today? Do you think they're right to put on a top 100 list? Do you think I got it? Do you think I missed it? Let me know down below in the comments. But guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for taking the time to click on the video, like and comment, subscribe, and all that means the absolute world. Thank you all so much if you are new. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next video.